Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. It is Friday. We have some big news to kick off your day. The UAE rejects reports of US military aircraft arrival in support of Israel. This is fake news published on international publications. Yes, aircraft was arriving, but no, it is not in support of Israel. Don't believe everything you read.
And a local superhero, a security guard, saved an unconscious teen. We talked about what happened, and I compared him to Superman, the Man of Steel. And we also talked about self-driving taxis. They hit the streets of Dubai.
These freak me out. We went into AI, what it means for the future, but also personally, are you behind it? Are you still a little bit apprehensive? Later on in the show, I think I needed her help today. We had Mary Kiteou from Hope AMC talking all things speech and language development for children in their early years. So parents, if you have questions, this was truly informative. So please take a listen. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. It is your Friday morning, and thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, we love to read your comments before, during and after the show, so keep them coming. Our top story today, the UAE has rejected allegations of the US military aircraft arrival in support of Israel.
A security guard saved an unconscious teen.
We're also going to be talking about self-driving taxis. We'd love to know your thoughts. Are you going to be jumping on as soon as possible, because they are hitting the streets of Dubai?
And later on, we'll be tackling speech and language therapy with Hope AMC's Mary Kiteou.
But let's jump into our first story. As mentioned, the UAE rejects reports of US military aircraft arrival in support of Israel. This is basically fake news. It has hit media publications internationally, but the UAE Ministry of Defense, MOD, has denied the allegations circulated by some international media about the arrival of US military aircraft at Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE to provide support to Israel.
In a statement, the ministry confirmed that these allegations are baseless, as arrivals of U.S. aircraft at Al Dhafra base have been taking place for several months according to predetermined timetables within the framework of the military cooperation between the UAE and the United States of America, and is not at all related to the developments currently taking place in the region.
So interesting how fake news can spread, and I know there have been a number of fake news stories recently. People looking for a story, looking to make that connection. However, the UAE, via Ministry of Defense and WAM, which is the government news agency, have denied all reports that this is in relation to support of Israel. Along with that, Emirates officially suspends Tel Aviv flights until October 30. In a statement posted on their official website, Emirates expressed its vigilance, stating, "We are closely monitoring the situation and are in close contact with the authorities. The safety of our customers and employees is our number one priority." So flights have been officially cancelled until October 20, I believe, and after that it will be an ongoing case-by-case basis.
Yeah, so always be aware of any fake news. Always be a lookout for the official channels and accounts, for government accounts, so that you know all the proper information.
Massively.
Moving on to our next story, a superhero in Abu Dhabi. A security guard saved an unconscious teen from drowning. What a hero. A security guard saved a 13-year-old boy's life after he fell unconscious in a community pool in Abu Dhabi. Purna Bahadur Gurung, I hope I said his name right, saved Jabir Abu Zarqa from drowning thanks to his quick thinking.
This is a situation no one would ever like to be in on either side. So a massive shout out to the security guard, who wasn't actually on duty as a lifeguard at the time. Let us just say that. He ran to the aid of the teenage boy after his friends raised concern about him. Then Mr. Garang pulled Jabber out of the water and discovered he had no pulse, upon which he performed CPR to save the boy's life. This all took place on September 30 at 10 p.m. when no lifeguard was on duty. Jabber's mom thanked the security guard who saved her son's life and expressed her gratitude.
Friends also contacted emergency services and an ambulance arrived minutes later to transport Jabir to Sheikh Khalifa Medical City, where Jabir remained for nearly a week. Upon Jabir's arrival at the hospital, doctors discovered he had an undiagnosed heart defect, which required surgery. So this story might just be a blessing. Yeah, like I've had my fears of drowning, and I've heard a lot of and I've seen a lot of people suddenly have these heart defects, even in football or in any occasion it might happen. So for him to find it in that sort of manner and be saved, alhamdulillah, he's good, he's doing good now. And he can get the proper treatment. It's just a sort of a blessing, like we said.
Blessing. And it reminds us a bit about water safety. We've had a guest on the show before who was highlighting water safety, particularly among kids and in pools, whether it's a health defect or whether it's, not having, whether there's safety issues, maybe there's not barriers for kids. Water is a very, very scary place. Are we as individuals equipped if the worst came to happen? I don't know if I am, but the fact that this security guard wasn't on duty at the time, wasn't a lifeguard, not only when friends alerted him that Jabber was underwater, not only was he able to help him, but also to be able to perform that life-saving CPR at that moment. And then for them to discover when they went to the hospital that Jabber did in fact have a heart defect, which probably caused the unconsciousness at the pool. So how would you do under that emergency situation? Anything that goes wrong, whether it's family, friends, or a stranger, are you fast enough to jump in, or would you? I think I'd be on the phone calling authorities, which, by the way, the friends also did. And that's why the ambulance reached the scene so quickly, transported him to the hospital, and there they continued the medical resuscitation and revival, and he was there for a week. But as an individual, it really freaks me out that I am not capable to help someone in that situation.
You need to have a heart of steel, like Superman, especially when it's related to the sea and water. People don't realize the fact that it is very dangerous. You can also get swept away with the waves,
Riptides,
So for you to jump in immediately, no thinking, straight, I'm going to save this person. It takes a lot of heart and guts, and that's very commendable, and a shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Purna. If you ever see this show, we are in awe of your brave thinking that really did save a boy's life. We're going to jump into a next story. We're talking about self-driving taxis. They're hitting the streets of Dubai. So if you spot a car without a driver in the near future on the streets of Dubai, do not flip out. This is part of the UAE's big step towards autonomous vehicles hitting the streets. Dubai's RTA and Cruise, which is a self-driving company, they have begun testing out Chevrolet Bolt-based autonomous vehicles in Jumeirah 1 area.
This testing of the Cruise autonomous technology with a safety driver present is the result of the incredible joint efforts of RTA and Cruise following successful data collection and testing on closed test tracks.
Separately to this, Cruise has been running driverless ride-hail service in the USA since February 22. What is going on today? Since February 2022, thank you. During a recent trip to San Francisco, the RTA's technical team took Cruise rides, which confirmed RTA's confidence in Cruise technology. So yes, they will have a driver kind of there now as they begin rolling out the initiatives. But if you spot them in Jumeirah 1, that's what's happening, that they are zooming towards autonomous vehicles on the streets of Dubai. What are your thoughts?
I think Dubai, I've heard a lot of this word, sustainability, future, autonomous, AI, so we are heading in that direction. Dubai is heading in that direction. The UAE is heading into that direction, and to have driverless taxis, it freaks me out a little bit, but I guess that's the future,
That's so true. Yeah, 100%. You as an individual, what are your thoughts? But actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because at the moment they're having the Dubai Assembly for Generative AI by Dubai Future. So 2,200 global experts are in Dubai right now. They're tech leaders, and they basically discuss the future of AI, its limitless capabilities. And His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, Crown Prince of Dubai, basically said, "We believe that the use of AI marks a new transformative phase for development for humanity, and Dubai strives to be an active partner in shaping the world's future by providing a testing ground for boundless innovation in advanced technologies." And that is so true to what our story is today, because we are that testing ground. Yes, this is happening in San Fran, where kind of the big tech companies have their hubs, but where else is it happening in the world? Where else are they really innovating and putting future AI to the test. It's happening in Dubai. There's the money behind it. There's the interest. And I feel like there's the entrepreneurial, innovative mindset in this city that will allow AI to actually unfold. Scared personally, but get it.
I think, this is the future. Like I said earlier, it's going to be a very unique thing to see and watch on the street. But I think it would solve a lot of human error problems on the streets. And also, it would support, you know how AI, it supports, like ChatGPT would support writers or lawyers or anyone who's, you know, for anything related to writing. This would help taxi drivers, you know. It would support
They'd lose
them.
their jobs.
I don't think so. I think somebody would monitor these. So AI doesn't necessarily replace jobs, because I've heard a lot of people like talk about AI would take people's jobs, but there are other people that also say that AI is there to help us, not to take over. You know, it's supposed to be your best friend. You know.
Well, to get AI or to get autonomous vehicles on the road, we have seen accidents, you know, in the States as they kind of they have to actually test and AI has to learn. So that's what they've been doing until now. But you're right, there will always be a person monitoring it to prevent those accidents happening on the streets where UAE residents would be affected. I don't know.
What do you think?
I think that we're getting closer. Like, so I didn't understand AI and I did not understand how autonomous vehicles could actually work. It's like I don't understand how planes can work. However, using ChatGPT a little bit more, I understand that it learns and then develops the more it's in use, I guess. So autonomous vehicles, I kind of understand more that I still don't get it. Are they just loaded with sensors? And do they have they have ways like inbuilt in them so they know all the street maps? Like how would it actually work?
That's probably the case. Like they would have one like a GPS built in within the car, and it would be updated like regardless. And the sensors that are around the car would similar to, let's say, a Tesla. You know, when you're their driver, like they can basically drive themselves if you have that feature within your Tesla. So they have sensors, so it would basically stop if you know. So, but it learns throughout it learns throughout like updates. I would say, like you would get updates. You know,
I would like to implore whoever is putting autonomous vehicles on the road, please be a Waze GPS system, not a Google Maps system. Are you Waze or Google Maps?
Waze all the way.
Waze all the way. And if you don't use Waze, can I tell you now, it will change your driving game in Dubai. I think in terms of walking, if I need to walk somewhere, I'm on Google Maps.
Yes. Or the thing, Google, I use it to look at pictures and ratings and reviews.
I use Google for all sorts.
Yeah.
But Google Maps specifically. For walking, I don't think Waze gets you walking.
I think walking, Google Maps would do the job,
But please, if you are using Google Maps, just try Waze. It gives you, for someone who really struggles on the roads and in the traffic of Dubai like me, I find them so scary, but life is what it is. I have to drive to work. It tells you the exact lane you're meant to be in. It makes driving a lot easier. Exactly. And then you can have Roger Federer as the voiceover telling you what to do. Yeah.
Wow.
He compliments your driving skills. I'm like, thanks, Roger.
There's Snoop Dogg.
There's Snoop Dogg as well on Waze.
Yeah. Ali Khalil said no Snoop Dogg.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool. You can listen to Snoop Dogg complimenting you every day.
And Roger Federer. And they speak incredibly clearly, which is probably what got them that role. And speaking of speaking clearly, today we're talking all things speech and language development for children in their early years. So parents, if you have any questions, we are soon going to be joined by Hope AMC's speech and language therapist, Mary Kiteou. She'll be with us after this very short break. Do stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we're tackling speech and language development in children in their early years with Hope AMC's speech and language therapist, Mary Kiteou. This is a profession that plays a fundamental role in enhancing communication and transforming lives. So welcome to the show, Mary. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me and for this opportunity to get speech, language and communication out there and broaden people's understanding of what it actually is.
Amazing.
So
it's our pleasure. We want to delve straight into it. Like, what are the most common questions parents might have? Like, how can speech and language therapy help my child?
That is an excellent question, and I think that when parents come to me, often they say my child can't talk, or my child has got a speech difficulty, but actually that's not only what we do. So first of all, we have to think of the definitions of speech, language and communication. So communication is all about why we're talking. What is the social purpose of it? Talking is a social construct. We use it to get our message across meaningfully, and if that doesn't happen, that means we haven't succeeded. So first of all, our children have to understand what it is that they're communicating for and who they want to direct it to. So we deal with the communication. We also deal with language. So that's when the child has a message to convey, what are the words that they are using so that they can put in sentences to get that message across. What do they want to talk for? Is it because they want to ask a question? Do they want to ask for something? Do they want to make a comment? Do they want to tell you what's happened in their day? So we talk about language. It's the grammar we use. It's the words that we're using, and then connected speech. And then finally, we look at speech difficulties. So that's how we're saying what we're saying. So we obviously have to use lots of speech sounds, and it's a very complex process because we have to use our breath. We've got brain, our brain sending a message. And children's mouth apparatus are the tools that they need for their talking, their tongue, their teeth, their lips. Their larynx is not really fully developed yet. So of course there's going to be some speech sound errors, and really it's the sounds that we use, how we order those in words, and then also how we order syllables, really.
Wow. Okay, so there's a lot that goes into it, and what we really wanted to do today was be as informative as possible for people watching. And one of the questions that came through was from parents who speak more than one language at home, and they want to ask, like, should I use English to help my child learn to speak? I am a massive supporter of keeping the heritage and the cultures going. If we're not exposing our children to their language, their home languages, then how are they going to continue? And we don't really want to take that opportunity away from them. It's important culturally. So the advice always is, and the research supports this, that the parents should talk in their strongest language, actually. And most of the time, especially in Dubai, schooling is in English anyway. So children will be exposed to English at their school. So people often ask as well, is it a problem for children to switch languages, for parents to switch between languages? That's also okay. But what we were looking for is a good language model so that the children are able to copy. And children's brains are ready, sponges, ready to soak up language systems, and they're able to differentiate different language systems. But sometimes parents can be worried because it presents as they are language delayed, because if you can only learn 5 words in a day, for example, 2 may have been in Arabic if that's the first language, 3 may have been in English, and so they're not, it just seems that they're not picking up language as quickly. What the marker is, though, for when you should be worried, is if the first language and the strongest language is not developing. So generally, some of the things we look for, if children are not using 16 signs by 16 months, waving, reaching their hands up, pointing, clapping, things like this, and also using single words by about 16 months as well, and then definitely if they're not using combining words by 2 years old also. Those are the things that we're looking for, that they might need a little bit of support. Really interesting.
Wow, interesting. Another question that we have is, what should my child be doing for their age?
Okay, so this is an excellent question as well. We have to look at children developmentally. They can't just start talking as a 5-year-old. They're going to go through steps. They can't physically as well. So what we're looking for is broadly for children at 1 year 1 year old, 12 months, to be using one word and to be understanding one word, for children at 2 years to be using 2 words and understanding 2 words, and so on, because this is it's a really easy benchmark for parents to remember. It is at the lower end, but that's broadly what we're looking for. So if parents feel like their children are struggling with that, then that's something definitely to look out for. And the other thing, though, that's very important to mention is that speech and language therapy covers lots of different areas. So it's like the roots of a tree, really. We need to build the roots of the tree before the tree trunk can grow, before there's leaves, before there's blossoms. And the roots of the tree are the most important elements for children, which are social motivation and interaction, playing, and attention and listening. So we need to actually start on those 3 skills. So if parents are looking out for maybe that your child is moving between different activities very, very quickly, or maybe they are turning their back when they're playing, or they're not involving you in their play, then these are things that also indicate that maybe we can do something to support them to understand that play, like talking, is a social construct. So that's how the tree grows, really, and then understanding develops from this, and then actually words and language, and then sounds are the blossoms on the tree. We would typically work on them last.
Speaking of support, do you have tips maybe for parents at home who want to help their kids, or what can we do to help our children at home if they need help?
That's an excellent question, and this is actually a very good point, because all of the evidence shows that parents being involved in the therapy process and actually therapy strategies at home are the most effective, because obviously the child is most comfortable there, and they're most trusting of the parents or the caregivers. So there's lots that parents could be doing, and the first stage of therapy would always involve parents for parent-child interaction strategies. And these are things like, lots of parents are already doing this. We just help to fine-tune it. It's sitting on the floor to make sure that you're at the eye level of the person that you're interacting with. It's making sure that you're actually following the child's lead. All of the research shows that reciprocity is really, really important. So it's easy for us to want the child to pick up the brush and then use it to brush their hair or baby's hair. That's what we want to do. And in fact, we would probably direct them to do that. But they might want to throw it at that stage. They might want to bang it. They might want to use it as a spoon to mix it. So following the child's lead means allowing them to explore things in the way that they want to do. And I have a lovely example from a parent recently. She told me that her son likes to sing, and she demonstrated lovely reciprocity. I thought it was incredible when she decided to sing some instructions to him, and using his interests and using how to get him to look at her and listen to her was just a lovely example of how we're being more child-led. And if you look carefully at what you're doing, you're usually asking questions, you're usually directing and telling them what to do. Oh, let's build a tower. That's not the child's choice. So it's really about letting the child choose, and it takes a lot of work. And asking questions, it's just a habit for us because we want to teach. We are the older person. But it's a bit counterintuitive to what the child wants, and that's how the child learns.
Interesting. So another question is, my child uses a dummy. Should we stop this?
So interesting.
Yeah.
I see babies with the dummies, and then I'm like, I thought, is there science telling people not to use them anymore?
Well, it's very complex because all of the research is a bit inconclusive, actually. So what I can say is that there's enough reasons why after about 12 months you might want to limit it, or limit it to nighttime, or completely take it away. So it is inconclusive, but there are benefits to it too. So parents should just be informed. And this is what speech and language therapy and any therapy is about. You want to give parents all of the information, and it's up to them what informed decisions they make. So some of the benefits are that the dummy self-soothes. The dummy helps them stop crying. It helps, parents that are busy, but it helps them to sleep. But there's enough information to show that extended use reduces the babble for little babies. It reduces them making the range of movement they need to do if used in the daytime. Because of the sucking, it can open the tube to the ear, which can lead to ear infections as well. There's some evidence that it can lead to stomach infections. Generally, if you've got a dummy in your mouth and you're talking, sounds that we make at the front of our mouth are pushed towards the back of the mouth. So the easiest one to describe is if I say duck, and that's a D. But if I put my thumb in my mouth, and I used to suck my thumb, it will be guck. So that's completely wrong. And then if the child hears that over time, then that's how they are storing that representation of that word in their brain. But there are positives as well, like it will help with the sucking and the latch and things like this. And I just want to add that it's not only the dummy, extended bottle use can actually have the same impact, and that's why there seems to be enough reasons why after 12 years old you would want to limit it, especially in the daytime and especially around talking.
From dummies to iPads, is there any correlation between showing a child an iPad at the age of 2 to their speech and language development?
There's lots and lots of research, and the problem with screen time is that it's one way, so it's not at all helping any of that back and forth, that reciprocity that we keep talking about. It's an engagement, it's a back and forth process, and iPad's only one way. There are some shows that have developed that are a little bit better, and they leave space for the child to do something. But generally, limiting screen time is advised because of that. We're thinking about the communicative environment, and what that means really is that we're encouraging communication in any way we can, and extended screen time I'm talking about, every parent, as we all know, will give the iPad from time to time, and that's okay, but we mean extended screen time when we're eating also is a bit detrimental, because children are not thinking about their food and what they're doing. So generally the more you try to reduce it or have specific times in the day that are not around eating and other routines, the better it will be.
Interesting.
So we come to the UAE. Are there any free resources within the UAE to help parents and kids? Like, what are the early signs of speech impediments?
So if children are not using gestures by 16 months, this can be a big indicator, really. And so that would be one of the things that we can look for. There's lots of information on websites. If you Google 16 gestures by 16 months, it will give you a lovely visual version of what children should be doing by each month. And that's really, really nice. There are lots of lovely websites too. Obviously, since I'm trained in the UK, they are UK-based, but speech and language .org, I think it is. It used to be formerly ICANN, has got lots of information. So does the Royal College of Speech and Language Therapists websites. There's lots of information online that people can find. There's one website, the Hannon website. It's actually related to the parent-child interaction that I was talking about. They give like a wealth of information, easy to digest, easy to read, even for me as a speech and language therapist, I prefer that. And so that's lots of information that they can find on the website there.
And then at what point do you decide, okay, I actually need to see a speech and language therapist?
Usually it's parents can see a difference between their children, really. That might be one of the markers. Also, if you're worried, generally, I would just come and speak to us, because we could just give some tips and then you can go home and try them. We might do some therapy together and then you see lots of improvement. But generally, when you start to notice consistently that it's leading to frustration, really, or that maybe the child is crying to get what they want, and it's not easy for you to manage, particularly if it's impacting daily routines. Actually, that's where parents with young children probably need a lot of help, and that's what we can support.
I think all parents will be thinking, well, I feel like they always impact daily routines.
I know, exactly. So it's what the parent can manage. If it feels like you're not managing, and it's too much, or you feel like you've tried a lot of things, then please come. But we're always open to answer questions anyway. So anytime you've got a concern, you can contact us, and we'll give some advice, or tell you if you're concerned. You can wait with your concerns, or if actually you're right, and let's just help it. Let's just help the child.
Yeah, amazing.
If it's very sensible, and it's very logical, and parents just love the therapy because it empowers them to know and be mindful of what they're doing, and what they're doing has an effect on what the child is doing, and it's just a really lovely piece of work.
What do I do if a nursery are concerned?
So I always say to parents that it's very informative if nursery give information, but parents are the expert on their children and they know their children very well. They know what they can and they can't do. So if those concerns resonate, which they often do, but sometimes they might not, then please come and see a speech and language therapist, and you can. Usually they know a speech and language therapist that they can recommend, or you can come to Hope. It's worth checking it out. And then something else that's worth checking out for little ones, because of dummy sucking bottles, flu that goes around at nurseries, is always to have their hearing checked first, because a reduced hearing means that they might be missing out on some of the speech and the sounds and the talking, and then that will result in a delay as well. So that happens quite often. So please have your children's hearing checked,
Interesting. Really appreciate your insight today, but obviously you're working with Hope AMC and you do a lot more there outside of speech and language therapy. Can you give us a quick rundown of what you guys do at Hope, and then also how people can reach you if they have more questions?
Yeah, so Hope is a multidisciplinary centre. It helps children that have a variety of difficulties. So they have physiotherapy there for children with physical difficulties. There's also a hydrotherapy team there that take the children into the water to do their exercises. And there's a special form of physiotherapy that they've got that's called CME, but I can't remember what the full term of it is, but it's all about correction and alignment of the body. They also have a wonderful OT department, and they work with children that have got sensory preferences and sensory needs to give sensory diets. And then they have a specific psychomotor therapy section, which is part of OT, which works on, I think, more fine motor skills. So it's nice and rounded. It's a nice and rounded centre. Yeah,
it truly is. And I know that you're helping a lot of parents and kids down there. So it's really amazing. So thank you so much for your insight and for your time today. That's Mary, a speech language therapist from Hope AMC. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Guys, that is all we have time for on the Lovin Dubai show this morning. Have a brilliant weekend, and we'll be back with you on Monday morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.